I look at this and I understand political division. I mean, I honestly get it. It is something that, there has always been a political divide. But I've never not defended the President of the United States internationally. What I mean by that is I wasn't a fan of the Obama administration, but I defended Obama when other nations went after America and they used the president as the punching bag, sometimes literally, but, they burning him in effigy and the other things they've done. Same thing with Biden. It didn't matter who it was. I'm an American before I'm any political party. And what happened with Zelenskyy coming to the White House and saying what he said, and then the way he said it was disrespectful, I think. Biden said it to him 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. This disdain for Donald Trump that carries over with some people. Do I think that the president overreacted? I wouldn't have reacted like the president did. I may have thrown the media out and said exactly what he said behind closed doors. I may have done that. It needed to be said, in my opinion. The guy was disrespectful. But coming to the U.S., asking for more aid, going to sign a deal that he was resistant to, and then to sit there with his arms crossed, angry like he was, insult the vice president of the United States, and get into a shouting match with the president is stupid. That was Zelenskyy made that happen. And what's funny about it is the people that don't like Donald Trump said he set this up. He set up Zelenskyy. Like somehow he knew Zelenskyy was going to go down this road and it was all ready. It's just, to me, I'm sorry, it just doesn't make any sense. So Marco Rubio was on with George Stephanopoulos over on ABC. And had a conversation about what happened here. I want you to listen a little bit what Rubio said about Russia.
Are puzzled by the steps that President Trump has taken to placate Vladimir Putin. I want to bring up a post that Lisa Murkowski.
Well, which ones? What steps has the president taken to placate?
Let me show you what. Lisa
Are we arming the Russians? Are we providing economic assistance to the Russians? Have we given the Russians $180 billion?
Please let me ask you a question. This is Lisa Murkowski, and here's what she says. This week started with administration officials refusing to acknowledge that Russia started the war in Ukraine. It ends with a tense and shocking conversation in the Oval Office and whispers from the White House that they may try to end all U.S. support for Ukraine. I know foreign policy is not for the faint of heart, but right now I am sick to my stomach as the administration appears to be walking away from our allies and embracing Putin, a threat to democracy and U.S. values around the world. Those are not my words. That's Senator Lisa Murkowski. What's your response?
Well, yeah, we're a free country. People have a right to these opinions. I would just say to you, what have we done to placate the Russians? The only thing we've done is say, are you guys willing to talk about peace?
And that's the other issue here. I don't know that I would handle things the same way. That's the big thing is you don't have to be all in one way or the other. I don't like a lot of the things that the president has said. I've been very vocal about some of the things that he has said about individuals and the way he has said things. But what he said he wanted was Zelenskyy to say he wants peace. I want you to hear this. This is the president talking about this, saying he believes that Zelenskyy overplayed his hand and then what the U.S. is looking for.
We had a meeting today, as you know, with President Zelenskyy, and I would say it didn't work out exactly great from his standpoint. I think he very much overplayed his hand. We're looking for peace. We're not looking for somebody that's going to sign up a strong power and then not make peace because they feel emboldened, and that's what I saw happening. I'm looking for peace. We're not looking to go into a 10-year war and play games. We want peace. And it was just my impression that if we do that, if we sign up, he's looking for something that I'm not looking for. He's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to end the death. 2,000 people died this week, soldiers, more than that, but 2,000 approximately people died this week. Young Ukrainians and Russians, and somebody would say, why do you care about Ukraine and Russian soldiers? I care about them. I care about everybody.
So it's fascinating to me that the political party that has spent the majority of time I've been doing this, and I was surely invested in what happened in Iraq with my family's history, that has spent the better part of the last 20 years or more now calling the Republican Party the party of the warmongers and the neocons. And as a matter of fact, that was the mantra against George W. Bush and especially against Dick Cheney, that it was a war for oil, that it had everything to do with Halliburton and Dick Cheney's connection to Halliburton, and that Republicans are warmongers. The Code Pink Mothers for Peace and all these very left-wing angry organizations that have categorized Republicans as warmongers for as long as I've been doing this are now out there and not even listening to a word that's being said by a president that says, I just want the dying to stop. We want him to work toward peace. What he wants is more aid so he can continue to fight. We want both sides at the table to talk about peace. Now, I'll tell you, I don't trust Vladimir Putin, never have, never will. I'm a product of the 80s. I watched the Soviet Union fall. Vladimir Putin would love to see the rise of the Soviet Union again and Russian power and to take down the power of the U.S. I believe that wholeheartedly. I have no love nor respect for Vladimir Putin whatsoever. So I am also, like many people, I don't like hearing anybody having anything nice to say about Vladimir Putin. But if this is a diplomatic tool that gets both sides to the table so that both sides are able to have conversations. I talked about Reagan earlier. Reagan was roundly criticized for the harsh tone he took with the Soviet Union and Mikhail Gorbachev. And he was going to get us into World War III by saying the things he's saying. We're hearing the same thing now. Donald Trump is going to get us into World War III, placating the Russians. It's the opposite tactic. But in the end, what Ronald Reagan did won the Cold War without firing a shot. In this case, do you get Vladimir Putin to agree to peace? And are there ways for security to make sure that peace is held? So I look at this and I think to say the horrible things that are being said about an American president who is saying we just want peace, when he's ready for peace, come back. I don't know how that gets criticized. Is it the way he said it? Is it the fact that he got angry in the Oval Office? I don't know. I listened to someone, and the people that have been screaming for peace ever since the beginning of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars are now criticizing a president that says, get out of here until you want peace. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Catch up on Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast, and click the button in the middle to subscribe.